Productivity is now a market, and you are the consumer. If you think not, then let me ask you a question. How many videos on calendars, planners, to-do list apps, and note-taking apps have you watched? If you can keep track, then great. If you can't, chances are that you're in the pool of people who are stuck planning more and doing less. Productivity used to mean being more efficient while not sacrificing the quality. But now it seems to mean the quickest, least time-consuming way of doing things while quality takes a backseat. Currently, you get to see thousands of videos on productivity every month. All talk about apps like calendars and noting apps, or you hear about maintaining a second brain and which app is best for that, or how to be more productive in general. We need to realize that there wouldn't be these many apps and content creators on productivity if there is no market for it. So let me paint a picture of what's actually going on to show what my problems with this market is and potential solutions to these problems as well. Why is productivity now a market? Well, what makes a market? It basically is a supply and demand along with a place or platform to exchange value. Similarly, for productivity, there's a supply, a lot of demand, and plenty of platforms to sell and buy products. But unlike most products, which are rigid, productivity can fall under self-employment, quality improvement, efficiency management, and a lot more platforms because it can be applied to many spaces. Look, TLDR, everyone's the market. Everyone fits the criteria for a productivity consumer. Along with a huge consumer base, we have a massive library of productivity apps, courses, products, planners, and social media content which propagate the modern efficiency agenda. Then there's the hustle culture bonus.
Percent of people have no excuse for not being able to make 10 grand a month.
These chronic grinders support productivity, which adds a forest to the dumpster fire. This entire scene is what makes new age productivity. So, what's your problem with this cesspool, you ask? I know this is counterintuitive, but lock in. Imagine starting out your journey of self-improvement. Do you think you can start planning and getting results after watching videos like 10 tools I can use to be productive or 5 books to be productive in 2024? I don't think so. If you have a 9-to-5 job, do you think how to structure a calendar is necessary for you? Finally, if you are an obsessive planner, do you think switching to another new, faster app for your second brain is time-saving or time-consuming? Personally, I think for all of these cases, productivity is not that required. You know, Seneca said that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. So when there are hundreds of new apps, videos, and courses, in the beginning, we feel the only way is to learn everything and then start. The content which we watch makes us crave the next attractive app that can do everything. We keep busy trying everything, but in the end, we end up doing nothing. Why do you think these productivity content creators not warn you about the dangers of being stuck? Why do they not tell you that consuming too much productivity content can keep you planning and give up or procrastinate taking action? It can make you fall into a perfectionist mindset where you wait for that impossible time when everything is just right for you to start. This gets me to my first problem. Why do they leave out the important steps to actually be productive? Because that doesn't get clicks. Because they need repeat viewers. They need their audience hooked to their content and keep watching. They need more people to use their code for sponsored products. They need to sell that course. They need money. This may or may not be deliberate, but this still happens. The productivity content and tips do not make positive change as a beginner. Your decisions make the actual change. Productivity is unnecessary for a middle-class, 9-to-5 worker. Everything doesn't need to be planned, and a simple alarm or a checklist on a paper will suffice. For the obsessive planners, more planning wastes more time. This gets me to the second problem. The more you plan to take on, the less you actually do. These gurus show how to arrange tasks, calendars, keep a journal or a to-do list as a way of being productive to improve yourself. When you take on a new goal-oriented schedule all at once and fail, their answer is probably more courses, books, etc. It is their responsibility to inform that productivity is not a huge part of self-improvement. Yet, they play into these unspoken assumptions. Okay, the third problem that I have is that they make you feel like you need it. As productivity inevitably shows up on your self-improvement journey, very rarely will you find someone to tell you that you do not need productivity to improve your life. The only place productivity is really relevant is in corporate or work schedules. When people are in work mode, most do not need more than that work schedule. But when you've already seen a content creator tell you about their personal schedule to be highly productive, you feel like planning out every waking hour of your life. Let's look at the 4 categories of mindset in this video by Daniel Ramsey.
And so as an entrepreneur, what I want you to understand are these 4 different personality profiles and exactly how to leverage them so you can get the most out of the humans that you work with and also reduce friction inside of your organization. We all have these different personality traits in us, meaning under pressure, you can be the general and create a plan. Under pressure, you can be an artist, focus, and actually do the now work of creating something new. Under pressure, you can get a lot of things done and actually train yourself to go checklist. Under pressure, you can actually go back and look at the past and say, did all my plans work out? So under pressure and in extreme opportunity moments, each of us have a bit of these traits.
So, unless you are the soldier type who likes to tick boxes, planning every minute feels like a chore. You feel hollow and lesser because you're following what a calendar says. You know it's you who planned it, but it feels like your life is not yours anymore. And finally, the 4th problem is optimizing everything. I've seen many YouTubers suggest optimizing everything from reading faster, watching videos, and listening to podcasts at 1.5x speed while adhering to every time frame in your day, which I greatly disagree with. This is personally my biggest gripe because this is actually counterintuitive. You need to spend time and think about your actions or sit with your current situation for longer to understand it. Maybe take an extra half hour to recover from your extra hard workout. Check out this clip from a video of Odysseus. He explained it very well.
When you add friction to your learning, it becomes more similar to this rocky stream. The ideas get a chance to stick around a bit and make themselves useful, rather than just flowing straight on, really fast. Just like the water, your ideas are bounced around a bit. They're dragged along and they get the chance to connect with each other. They move slowly, and that means you will slow down as well. Inevitably, you consume less content. And I'm not going to bullshit you here and say it's easier, because it's not. There's no cheating in the system. There's no getting around the effort and avoiding it. I'm okay with the slow approach because at the end of the day, it's more fulfilling. It lets you squeeze out everything an author has to offer, and you leave the pain of sloppy learning behind. And perhaps most importantly for you, the content you consume becomes a part of you. Instead of seeing books as a piece of content that you desperately have to, memorize and cling on to, it just becomes a part of who you are.
So, what can we do? What's actually in our hands? We need to understand that most content creators and people on the internet are here for themselves. Their prime goal is to make a living off the internet and maybe help a few along the way. Don't believe what I say either. Make a decision based on actions and try to understand what made me and other creators take a certain action. Selling a feeling, or in this case, selling the perfect scenario of you finally starting your journey, unfortunately gets more attention and views, which ultimately is financially desirable for these content creators. Now that you understand how this market works, here are 6 ways you can avoid such problems. Number 1. productivity doesn't bring change. Habits bring change. So cultivate habits and productivity will follow. The second point is Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time to create something good. I was obese and wanted to change my life, look better and be stronger, but it took me a year to cultivate the habit of just going to the gym, let alone my other problems like my diet, my stress eating, my laziness, and so on. 2 years later, I am confident that I can somewhat manage my diet, but I can 100% continue working out. The third point is, as I said before, I did not take on all problems at once. I gradually took them one by one because first it takes time to learn, then it takes time to make it a habit. There's a quote by Marcus Aurelius: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means it is necessary to suffer through in order to etch the lessons and learnings into you and for you to actually assimilate them. Suffering through it is the only way to learn. That was the fourth point. The fifth point is be aware of your time and use it responsibly. Even your times of entertainment. Don't use self-improvement as an entertainment. Lastly, do not algorithmize your life. Be flexible in your planning. So these are 6 examples of what we can do and what is actually in our hands. Before I close this off though, I want to give you just a little bit of homework where you just go to your favorite productivity YouTube channel and just check out all the videos on their channel. Just check out the video titles and think to yourself, what do you think is their main source of income? Is it the YouTube channel itself, or do they run any other company? Think about that for a moment to realize that there are people out there who don't have any other job except for just making videos, because this is their main source of income. Since this is my first video, I do want to say that not all my videos are going to be serious, because I plan on making videos on cool projects as well. Thanks for sticking with me for so long. I really appreciate it.